Okay, General Math students, in this video we're going to use the finance solver to do a couple of inflation questions. Inflation is a measure of increasing prices in an economy. You may be aware that this occurs in economies, that the cost of goods and things goes up over time, generally speaking. So because the price or the cost of things compounds year on year, we can use compound interest calculations to solve these inflation questions. We're going to do these ones on the finance solver. So we're not using the formula you can see on the screen in this video. We're going to use the finance solver. So this first one asks us to predict the price of a surfboard in 6 years' time if it now costs $520 at an inflation rate of 5% per annum. As usual, you can do these or use this video as you wish. You might want to try these questions before I do them, or you might just want to watch me do them, or maybe you want to watch me do one of them, then you try the other one, however you like. Now, we're going to highlight the important parts here. We've got this inflation is occurring over 6 years. The original cost of the surfboard is $520, and the annual rate of inflation is 5% per annum. So we're going to detail the inputs that we're going to use on that finance solver. So as usual, we do this. We write down what we're going to put into the solver. Righto. So this occurs over 6 years. So there's 6 periods of inflation. Put a 6 for the n value. The annual rate is 5% per annum, so a 5% there. Now the present value, that is the original cost, or what it costs at this point in time. In this case it is. It's $520. I'm going to make that a negative. We need to make either this one, the present value, or the final value needs to be negative. But just considering that, you have to pay for this surfboard now perhaps, so it's money out of pocket. So we'll call that the negative. There are no regular payments or anything happening, so a 0 there. The final value is what we're trying to calculate, so put a question mark there, or the future value, perhaps you would call it in this case. Now, PPY and CPY, payments per year and compounds per year. These are both 1, and that is usually the case for compound interest questions in this course. We usually have an annual rate of inflation. Sometimes inflation can be at a higher rate, so that the price of things goes up more than once per year. But generally speaking in our course, and there have been exceptions, different questions where inflation is occurring more often than once per year, but we're just going to look at a couple with an annual rate of inflation. So PPY and CPY can just be 1. So let's go to Add Calculator and go Menu and then Finance and get our finance solver. So I'm going to put the inputs in here. We've got 6 periods of inflation at 5%. The present value is negative 520. I'm going to delete that final value. Now I'm going to continue to tab down. 1, 1. Doesn't matter what we put in this box because there are no regular payments. I'm going to keep tabbing down to the future value and push enter. And the future value, in 6 years' time, this surfboard, if inflation averages 5% per annum, will cost $696.85. $696.85. Okay, so there we go. Not too hard at all. Now we've got another question down below here. You might want to pause the video at this stage and try this question before I do it. So I'll give you that opportunity now. Okay, I'm going to have a go at this question. So here are the inputs I'm going to use. N, I, V, V, DMT. Okay, now you may have read this question and noted and understood that this time we're given the future value So we're told that the surfboard, sorry, not the surfboard, it's a television this time, is going to be purchased for $1,200. All right. And we're asked, what did it cost 4 years ago? So things have switched on us here. We're told the future value, even though I know it's saying it's purchased today, it's not in the future, but we've got to kind of consider 4 years ago was in the past. So if you were in 4 years ago, you were trying to predict 4 years from now, then that, the future value would be the 1,200. So we've got to make that adjustment there, a little bit different. Okay, 4 years of inflation at 6%. All the rest is pretty much as before. So really just switching and finding the present value rather than the future value in this case. So let's go back. Okay, so we're at 4 years at 6% inflation. I'll leave this present value blank. I'm going to tab down and make 1,200 here, and then continue to tab to the present value and push enter. So hold on, I've got the wrong number in there. I put a 64. That's 64 years before. I need a 4 there. Beg your pardon. Okay, I was a bit worried that surfboard was very cheap 4 years ago at $28.81, but in fact it was $950.51 4 years ago. $950.51. Righto, so that's how we do inflation questions using the finance solver. Fairly straightforward. Go ahead and try some of the questions that are associated with inflation using the finance solver.